Shortly after the events that took place on 9/11, the Department of Homeland Security established threat code levels that you may remember. They were color-coded. They had green, blue, yellow, orange, and then red for the highest level of threat. Well, you may remember that most people could not remember what in the world those color codes meant. And in 2011, they changed the coding to just simply either elevated or imminent. Imminent meaning something is going to happen. Elevated meaning you might want to watch out. Well, this week, as we open the book of Colossians, and we look at Colossians chapter 2, verse 8, in essence, Paul is saying, I'm going to raise the threat level. You need to be on alert. You need to be on guard. He commands us that in Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. Be on guard because there is a threat that's coming. Now, this threat isn't the same as terrorists who are coming to try to blow things up or tear things down. It's much more subtle than that, much more destructive than that. What Paul is talking about is the threat of worldly thinking. And in there, he talks about in that verse, he talks about 5 different ways of thinking. He talks about 4 different worldly ways of thinking and 1 correct way of thinking. And the consequence of not thinking correctly is that we'd be taken captive. We'd be taken away. We'd be taken away from the way that we should be thinking, and be thinking in an incorrect way. And so this week as we look at these different ways of thinking, the negative and the positive. He talks about these 4 negative being worldly philosophy, empty deception, the traditions of men, and even the very basic foundational principles of the world. And he contrasts that with thinking that is governed by Christ. And what this tells us is that Christ needs to be supreme even over our thinking. Come as we talk about these things and as we discuss them, as we look at the consequences of not following after those things, and so that we can pattern our lives after those who are being on guard, vigilant, constantly wary of false teaching, constantly comparing what we're being taught with the standard of the Word of God. Come as we discuss these things and as we look at them in greater detail, and hope that you'll be able to learn how you can better pattern your life in even your thinking, not just your actions as we normally talk about, but also in your very thoughts, bringing your thoughts into captivity to the very Word of God, bringing your thoughts in captivity to the one who is supreme over all things. As we prepare for this week, I'd encourage you to read through Colossians chapter 1, verse 13, down through Colossians chapter 2, verse 23, to get a bigger picture of everything that's taking place.